Hey Megan, I'm just making sure that you can hear me. You're there. Type something in Dropbox, or not Dropbox, Slack. Megan. Yep. All right, perfect. Cool. I'm here too. I still haven't figured out why I can't see it on Instagram, but you say it's there. So I told the Instagram people to dial in because I had no way of seeing their comments, and I can't even find the stream on Instagram. So yeah, we'll go with that. And then I got someone on Instagram. What's his name? Grant Wise, I believe, asked me to be on his podcast, what have you. So I obviously said yes, but he'll probably be reaching out or sending you a message. So figured I'd let you know, and let's do this. Oh, you know what I just remembered? Everybody can hear this right now. That's funny. Oh well.
Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
I hope you do have an empty notebook because it's going home filled.
Jay gives back so much value that I've never seen.
Now, at this moment, when I'm looking at the kitchen, things are going through my head.
You want to be friends with him, and he treats you like you're the only person in the room, even though it's for the benefit of everybody.
This is how, when you ask yourself, how does Jay do it? This is how.
He tells people that they have to take action, and they have to take action now. I took the action, and the results have paid off.
What happens when the marketplace understands who we are and how we go out there?
All right, people, how you doing? Hopefully things are going well for you today. And well, I'm back. Many of you probably didn't even notice. But well, actually, those of you on Instagram might have noticed, because we actually went to Philadelphia for a brief moment and came back. Got to see Hamilton. That was pretty cool. And there's a lot going on in Philly. Never had been there before, but from what I saw, I was pretty excited and encouraged from a real estate and business short-term rental standpoint. So that was definitely a eye-opening, to say the least. So for those of you who have been here before, welcome. Those of you who haven't been here before, then here's how this works. Basically, what we do is, my name is Jay Massey. I've been teaching. I've been in the real estate game for, I don't know, 11 years now. Yes, 11 years. And I've had the privilege of doing hundreds of many different types of transactions. Yes, hundreds of wholesale transactions, owning hundreds of doors, apartment buildings, short single family houses, cell phone towers, all kinds of stuff. The point is this. You're in the process of becoming a bigger, better real estate investor in some way, shape, or form. So our students have the ability to ask questions, and I'm definitely going to be able to get those and prioritize those. But for the others of you, maybe you're still exploring and trying to just figure it out. Feel free to drop your question in the chat, or if you want and you're brave, feel free to go ahead and call on in. Our call-in number is 417-352 2274. Again, that's 417-352-2274. Now, for everybody to be aware, we are growing, experimenting, trying something new today. What is the new thing? Well, the new thing is Instagram. So I think we figured out how to go live on Instagram simultaneously as we're at the other places as well. And for those of you on Instagram, if it doesn't look right, it's because it's our first time and we're trying to figure it out. So forgive me, but nonetheless, feel free you can call in because I can't see your comments for whatever reason. Can't figure out where they are. They're hiding from me. 417-352-2274. Feel free to dial those digits. Megan will be there to ask you a couple of questions, make sure you're a real person, that type of thing. And if you're nice to her, she'll put you through so that you and I can chat about any of your questions as it relates to real estate and business, etc. The rest of you, you get how it is. Like I said, put your comments in the chat. I should be able to see them. For those of you in the Facebook group, I've got you right here. That way I won't miss your comments ever because they're right in front of me. Oh, looks like we are definitely getting a few calls today, which means it's going to be interesting and fun. So I'm kind of excited about that idea. So we'll see how this goes, and let's get this party started. Let me see. So we have, who is this? David Harrison. It looks like from Edison, New Jersey. David, how you doing? David? I don't hear you, David.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
So far, so good. So far, so good. Glad to be back. Glad to be here. And the technology is working. So, hey, I can't ask for much more.
So I got a new listing up and running, and I sent you a link. I wanted to see if it was possible for you to do a listing review.
Got it. Where did you send the link to?
I sent it to you on Facebook Messenger.
Okay, hold on one second. And I'm assuming we're not friends because I don't see it. So let me go into that other spot.
I did send you a friend request prior, so it might be there as well.
Yeah, that doesn't always help either. Well, one second. Let me see. Where are those? Because there's always, I forget where they put those messages that you can't see until you authorize them. And that's what I'm looking for right now.
I wasn't sure if there were, how the best way to get this to you, and that's the only way I could come up with.
No problem. Are you in the student group?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
I'm sorry, are you in the student group?
Yes.
Yeah, just if you post it in there, it's always easy for everybody, including myself, to see it. In fact, you want to go ahead and do that because for whatever reason I can't find it. Understood, Megan. I can't find it at all. I can't find it wherever this message has been hidden. Facebook has decided that I don't deserve to see your message today.
Let me see if I can figure out how to do this real quick. I don't know if you want to pull me back on hold.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I was going to say the same thing. So I'm going to put you back. You post it there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring someone on and get their question answered. Cool?
Cool.
Excellent. All right. So who is this? Nina in Palo Alto. Excellent. Nina, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Hey, it's good. Good. Glad to hear it.
Hey. Thank you. So my question is, I got one person agree to sign the lease with me.
Hold on one second, Nina. Hold on one second. I'm having trouble just understanding it. Give me 1 second. Because it's not very loud for some reason, no matter how hard I turn it up. All right, go ahead. Say it again.
I finally got one person to agree, sign the lease with me.
Okay.
But I'm not sure, how do I know I can make a profit?
Oh, got it. So, Nina, I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was going to say, all right, you said, so if I understood you correctly, what you said is you got a landlord to agree to the business model in general, but you're not sure if you can make a profit. Is that correct?
Correct.
Got it. And okay, so Nina, let me ask this question just so that I know where I'm coming from and where we're starting with. Are you currently a cash flow diary student at all?
So I just about the blueprint right now. I haven't finished that blueprint.
Got it. Yeah. Now I understand. Excellent. Makes perfect sense. All right. So what I'm going here's how the step one comes down to understanding who it is that you wish to serve. So what does that mean? When you focus on who it is that you want to serve, one of the criteria, one of them that we're analyzing is their income. When you understand how much a person that you are looking to serve or a particular demographic, what their income is, that can give you an understanding of, yes, not only what area of town to be in, but what it is they typically pay for the types of experiences that you are looking to provide. So your profitability is a function of, well, obviously it's revenue minus expenses equals net operating income. And you're going to have many different streams of revenue, but those streams of revenue are going to be based upon who it is that you're serving. So let me give you a tangible example. One of the pieces of revenue obviously is the room rate, right? That's perfect. However, if the person you're looking to serve is, say, looking for a wilderness experience, one of the other pieces of revenue you don't have typically is going to be able to charge them for tiered Wi-Fi access. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you're doing. I'm just trying to give you an understanding that in order to be able to answer your question, one of the things that you're going to want to do is inside the mastermind product, module number 1, what we have is we have an entire document with a breakdown of determining who it is that you want to serve, which will help you identify all of your potential areas of revenue. Once you have an understanding of what those potential areas of revenue are, then from there, you'll be able to subtract all of the expenses. And in fact, in one of our other modules on no pride pricing, we even give you the list of all of the expenses that you'll have from an operating basis, so that you'll be able to quickly and easily go, okay, here's what I'm expecting to be able to charge for my daily rate, for my cleaning, for late checkout, early arrival, internet, etc., etc., etc. And then you'll be able to subtract all of those things out to be able to figure out what that's going to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Really, really quick. So I enrolled the Airbnb and I tried to get a daily rate range.
Yeah, I understand.
And I know who I'm going to serve. It's like spread really wide, like from 100 to 300.
Yeah, that's
if it's 100, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. So there's a lot of individuals who try. Okay, so I have this conversation all the time when it comes to AirDNA or Mashvisor or many of the other tools that are out there in the marketplace. They have really good data for certain things. One of the things that's it's really hard to rely on aggregated data for an exact what is my daily rate going to be, because as you identified, the range is wide, and the range is wide is because, well, for the same reason that a shirt at Walmart typically costs less than the shirt at Target, which typically costs less than the shirt at Nordstrom. Functionally, they're all the same. But if you came to me, because this is what you're saying right now, you're saying, Jay, I'd like to sell shirts. Cool. How much am I going to make? And I'm like, well, kind of depends. Are you Walmart, Target, or Nordstrom? And then if you are Walmart, Target, and Nordstrom, which experience are you? What are you? Because that's going to determine what additional revenue opportunities you have. For example, inside Walmart, you have, you've got your MoneyGram. You can get money orders. You can also usually get glasses, as well as many other services. But inside Target, you got Starbucks. Starbucks is not in, Walmart, and that becomes an additional revenue stream. So that's why the reason you're seeing the spread is because it's taking all of that together without separating and understanding, which makes it very, very difficult to use an AirDNA for that particular purpose. So, and I understand you, but you're like, but Jay, I want to know. And what I'm saying is, until you've completed the entire worksheet, you don't know yet, because there are way too many questions that have to be answered. However, inside the student group, you've just asked any of the students who have completed the worksheet and done the work. Once you've completed that worksheet, you have a really clear understanding of who it is that you're going to serve, and more importantly, what you'll be able to charge and what some of those additional services will be, which ultimately lead to the answer to the question that you're asking for me. Because your business isn't going to just be room rate only. It's just not going to be that. So you need to be able to look at all of those pieces in order to make it make sense. That is the most responsible and direct answer that I can give you, because there's, like I said, there's an entire worksheet of questions, and that's why we put the module together to help, because it's literally 2.5 hours to go through it and figure it out. Does that make sense?
Great. Really quick. Yes, really quick. So should I go ahead and sign these? Because I never know, maybe this.
Well, given what are you up in the Northern California area?
Yes.
And are you using a house or an apartment building?
Right. It's part of the duplex.
Okay. Are you using both sides of the duplex or just one?
Only one.
Do you own the duplex?
I don't.
Got it. And have you ever ran any sort of real estate or owned any sort of real estate before?
Yes.
Okay, so you've had a rental portfolio before, or now?
No. I had a short period of time, few rental properties, and I all sold them already.
Got it. Okay. And how many square feet is this space that you're talking about leasing right now?
1,100.
Oh, perfect. So it's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom?
2-bedroom, 2 bath.
Perfect. Okay, so with everything that you've told me, and knowing what I have experienced every time I go to Northern California, we have such a hard time finding anything that my instinct says, okay, you're going to be fine, based upon the fact that availability, inventory is so low every time we're looking to go up there. Because every time I've tried to go up there, it's always been a challenge finding a good quality, well-run place at all, let alone at a reasonable price, just finding one. So I think that's the biggest question is really going to come down to, if you're willing to serve individuals well, I think you're going to do fine. But the truest answer, as I said, is module 1 in the mastermind. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
All right, Nina. Thanks for calling in. I definitely appreciate it. No problem.
Thank you.
Cool. And let me get over to Nevin, and then I'm going to come back to David. I'll come back to you in just 1 second. Nevin, what's going on, man?
Hello, Jay. How are you doing?
I am pretty good. And yourself?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. So what's up now?
Jay, I got my first booking on Lodgify yesterday evening, and it's for sometime end of December.
Okay.
So this is my first booking, direct booking. My question is,
got it.
My question is, how does my messaging work now? Because Smart PNB doesn't have anything linked with Lodgify. So how do I automate my messaging
got it.
system?
Okay, got it. So there is a what I would call a rudimentary setup in terms of messaging available inside of Logify for that. However, one of the things that we have done to shortcut. What was that?
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. One of the things that we've done to shortcut that is we tend to put a lot of our information inside an electronic house guide, if you will, a welcome packet, for lack of a better word. So what we do is we put a lot of our data and that information, the directions, the photos, how to do this and how to do that type of stuff inside like I said, an electronic one that they can just use on their phone. That way, inside of the confirmation message that we send, they have the link that gives them all of the access details and the directions minus their dynamically generated code, if that makes sense.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the automation between the two.
Is it like hostfully?
Yes, correct. That's exactly what we're using.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So that has the ability to send all the codes and everything, right?
Well, we send everything but the actual door code because we still want to maintain control over when they get that.
Oh, okay. And how would you send that?
That's just a separate email because that, again, at that point, you can communicate with them directly via email. So that should be relatively simple for you.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
No problem. No problem. All right, David, here we go. I got your link on the screen, or at least on my screen. Now let me pull it up on the screen so that everybody else can see it too. And that's the wrong one. There we go. Cool. So this looks like you right here. It says king bed. I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing from the initial outset. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing right now. So this is good. All right. So
I tried to follow the system. So
I can see it.
Latanya designed it. So hopefully that shows.
Well, not only does that show, but I can tell you a number of things that shows right now. First of all, your photographer, whomever that is, really knows what they're doing because in your feature image, and I'll point this out for everybody to see right now. So when you're looking at the screen, there we go. So when you're looking at the screen, I'm circling this right here. This area right here tells me that your photographer knows what they're doing because as I look at it, I can tell that they understand dynamic range. Because this is actually this is most likely a composite shot, meaning multiple exposures, multiple images were taken in order to make sure that the exposure was properly captured here outside the window as well as inside the room. But also of great note is this right here, and the fact that you've got this light and you also have light coming in from the window. And there's what is known as color temperature, which tells me that the photographer understood that and corrected for it so that your white wall right here actually looks white as opposed to yellow.
And I had the daylight bulbs.
I can see it.
Directions.
Yeah, I can see that because this right here shows me that you changed the bulbs.
I did have to go back and forth with him on the editing a little bit. The HDR photos, some of them were really, really bright and popped and almost looked a little bit unrealistic.
Yes,
but he corrected it. So
correct. HDR can get you can be heavy-handed and it starts to look like what I call like a crayon or a coloring book, and that can be, for lack of a better word, a challenge. So, and you just don't want that look in any way, shape, or form. So, but that definitely can happen. But again, I can see a lot of the things that you're doing right. And again, also in the first 5 photos, you've got your download speeds prominently featured, which it tells me, like I said, from the outset, I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, we are definitely starting off on the right foot here. So I definitely can see that now. And then we've got your titles going correctly. You're up in New Jersey. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So really quickly, some of the things that I'm starting to see that I would begin to think about is I'm looking for like I'm like, where's the rest of it? You know what I'm saying? There in terms of, yeah.
I think I'm a little bit delayed, so I'm missing part of what you might have to explain to me what you're talking about.
So if you can hear me, what you are hearing via your phone when you dial in, that's real time with me. What if you're trying to look at the screen right now, it is definitely delayed. So if you're looking at the screen, it's definitely delayed. You may have to go back and rewatch. But what I am communicating right now is about the amount of copy and text under the space, the neighborhood, all that type of stuff seems to be missing. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
So we need to
trying to add some of that as I figure it out.
I understand. So some of that needs to. The reason I say that is because what you want is you want that stuff in there because your listing is your first line of customer service. Meaning, if you answer the question even before it's asked, then that's one less question where they have to go, well, let me ask them this question before I make the reservation. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Okay. And if you do that inside your listing, then that's, like I said, that's one less question. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to still ask you the questions that you've already answered in the listing, but it is at least you give yourself a shot at one less question. And when you do that with, even if it's one less question, it doesn't sound like much right now, but how many listings do you have right now?
Just the one. This is my first one.
Okay, got it. Now, by the time you get to 10, 20, 30, 40, you get that one question and you keep getting that one question 50 times in a week becomes a lot of work to answer. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So if you can eliminate those things from the beginning, then you just never get that question, and what you get is the reservation instead. So
I've been trying to work on gathering information for the neighborhood and that kind of stuff so I can include it, and working on titles and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the time to analyze the title, but in general, what I'm looking at though looks good. I'm checking your pricing situation right now because I'm curious to see if you're actually bothering with any sort of dynamic pricing, because if you're not, then yeah. Okay.
It's on Wheelhouse.
It is, but it sounds like, it looks like it's on conservative or something right now, which is fine. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, something is there.
I'm just trying to get familiar with it. It's a new platform. It's just a lot of new software is coming at me at once. I'm just trying to get everything up and running and doing the best I can so far.
Yep. So I'm going to quickly.
I think last Friday, and I got my first booking, and then it's been kind of quiet since then. So it's been.
How long is that booking for?
Trying to say that again. I'm sorry.
How long is the booking for?
3 days.
Got it.
3 nights rather.
Good. Perfect. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Again, yeah, I can see where the HDR technique was used significantly. Oh, that's interesting. Your bar stool chairs that are clear. I'm like, oh, haven't seen that before. That's cool. Sometimes I feel like Latanya saves her best stuff for you guys.
Open up when people walked in, so the bar stools kind of go away. She told me.
Yeah, no, it exactly. She's 100% right, and I just think sometimes she saves her best stuff for you guys, which is, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I've only seen. I'm flying through the photos right now. I've got a couple of notes that I just want to just bring to your attention. They're not horrible. They're not bad. Sure. It's just something that you want to pay attention to in the future when it comes to your photos. For example, when you've got your televisions on the photos, one of the things you want to do is you want to superimpose something on them, because this blank black television looks really noticeable when you've got everything else so perfect, right? It's set, there's such a story on your images, and then all of a sudden you've got a black photo or a blank rectangle on the wall, and it makes it just look kind of strange, in my opinion. So it's definitely something that I would be looking at. And then One of the other things that I noticed was inside the bathroom. Let me go back there.
Mhm.
Boom, 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 boom. That right here. Inside the bathroom, what you're going to want to do is this needs to be open. When you have your shower curtain, if you have your shower curtain closed, it makes me wonder, what is he hiding? I'm not saying you are hiding anything. And indeed, if I look at everything else you've done, it's probably a brand new shower. But the doubt is the question. The doubt is created by keeping it closed, right? And the bathroom can be one of those important places for a lot of people. For example, let's just pretend that my only question is simply, does it have a tub? I can't see that now.
No, it doesn't. No.
I mean, and if it doesn't, that's
Is
fine.
the next photo in the order there? The photo with the glass showing behind the curtain?
I didn't, and that's the thing. I didn't see one that had with the curtain open. That was the problem.
Okay, I'll have to check my photos order and make sure.
Because
I do have it in there.
Well, you may have it, but it's not obvious because the next one is actually showing the vanity. Now, it may be taken from the perspective of standing in the shower or next to the shower, but it's not really clear because I can't see into the shower. Does that make sense? I can't make out that there is no tub. This would be one of the questions that you would likely get. Is there a tub?
Mm-hmm. A good different perspective, since I've been in there looking at. I know what I'm looking at, but somebody new to it's not going to know exactly what they're seeing.
Yeah, no, not at all. And okay, and then one other thing, and then I'm gonna let you go, is I think I have found greater success in terms of reservations, etc. when we put our feature wall, a solidly colored feature wall, as the feature image. So in your case, the feature image you have is great. It's a great photo. Except I think this one would, I think the one with the light blue wall will probably do better, simply because it has a light blue wall.
Okay. I remember hearing about the pops of red, and that was
that's also good too.
That drew attention.
That's also good too. I just think the light blue wall is going to be better. I could be wrong. You can test it either way, but because I like the red, but I also like the feature wall. I again, just looking at the numbers. When I look at the numbers tell me what to do, and I've slanted towards making sure our solid feature walls are in our feature image almost everywhere. But this is a good job, man. I'm excited for you.
I'll move it around. I've been, like I said, tried to follow the system the best I could so far, and I feel really great considering that I know you're hard on photos, and these photos turned out pretty good.
I'm pretty happy. You got something going. If this was your concern, you are going in the right direction. Don't even stress, man. Don't even stress. Cool. So this is good. Good stuff, sir. Cool.
Thank you for taking the time, Jerry. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for calling in. And okay, I don't know. New Jersey's in the house today, so we've got James. It seems. James, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Jay. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. What's going on, man?
Hey, I had a question for you. I've been watching you off and on, and something just came in my lap. I would call it pretty much a gift horse. A friend of mine is managing some units in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out which one of your programs I could possibly become a part of that would focus on resort properties. Okay.
What do you mean exactly?
He's managing it. I have access to all 13 units.
Okay.
There's 2 penthouses, 2 3-bedroom, 3-bath penthouses. There are 4 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and then the rest are 1-bedrooms.
Okay.
Excellent location. It's ocean view on every side, not ocean front, but we're 30 meters from the ocean in the Dominican Republic. So I would guess I'm dealing with resort property. It would be a little different than residential.
Well, the question is it an operating facility at this moment?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It just happened to be vacant. He had people in there. It just happens to be vacant at this point, and he was trying to go another direction. So he said he wanted to use the Airbnb, the marketing tool, this way.
Got it. So
he can make more money. So he's asking me pretty much to step in and assist him with this.
So that I'm clear, is it like marketed and branded as a hotel or boutique bed and breakfast now, or or what?
Just condos. It's been marketed as condos.
Got it.
Other realtors had it. So I mean, it's pretty tough down there because you have other hotels, and condos out there. So it's a very competitive market.
Got it. And you said
So I
it's
guess
13
what
of
I'm asking,
them?
do you have a particular? Go right ahead. Sorry.
And you said it's 13 of them, right?
13 units. Yes.
Okay, got it. And I'm sorry, I cut you off. You said, do I have a particular what?
I guess program that
Got it.
focuses on resort, or is resort pretty much similar as residential in the execution of it all?
Well, the execution is definitely going to be different. What is different, but the main distinction is understanding back, like I said earlier in the call to the other caller, is Nina, I believe, is understanding who it is that you want to serve. What you've done is you've made it actually, to some instances, easier, because if you know that this is resort, then clearly the likelihood that someone is calling you to, for example, because they're doing a medical long-term stay is not likely, because that's usually not
Right.
where. Does that make sense? So it makes it easier for
Yeah.
you to actually make certain decisions. And because of the scale, meaning more than one unit, the program and again, this is literally our wheelhouse, is how to run and scale and make multiple units happen in a remote fashion. That's literally where we live. So that would be our mastermind product. And I don't know if you've been through. Yeah, if you just go over to cashflowdiary.com/star, STAR, it'll give you a lot of the basics, the details, etc. And again, the blueprint. Again, if it was just one unit or something like that, I'd be saying the blueprint. But ultimately, it's the mastermind product that you'd be looking at, because we're talking 13 units in a remote. I'm assuming you're not planning on moving to the DR. But maybe you are. I don't know. But if you want to do it in a remote fashion and have all the systems in place to be able to optimize revenue and the customer experience, that's what we would do.
Well, I tell you what's beautiful about this is that they have this service in already, a cleaning service.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With the unit.
Yeah, if you've got the ground crew handled, I'm kind of excited for you. It's somewhat jealous, because you'll have that. I mean, there's a lot of work involved in that part, and if that's the part you have actually got handled, then the other pieces are going to fit like a glove, and your job is basically to keep the place full, which is pretty much all that's what I do. I just keep the place full. That's it, and I think you're going to have a great experience.
Well, can I just ask just one question? Sorry.
Sure.
I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem.
I just want to ask just one question.
Okay.
Being that as opportunity presented itself, this is all brand new to me, but I do understand business. And what I'm trying to do, being that it's a friend of his, he brought me in on a situation. What I wanted to do, because of course the owner wants a cut of that. I didn't agree with that. The owner wants to come in on the Airbnb money. Okay. So what I had proposed is renting all units from the owner. I came up with, for 13 units, I had offered $7,500 a month.
Okay.
To have all units up under my control.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, I mean, does that sound fair? I mean, we're talking about two.
Again, I don't know the market
penthouses.
rates for the rents, but the structure is exactly what we talk about. That one, what you've just described, is literally what we do. Yes, that's 100% it. Because, in my opinion, again, if the landlord wants to participate in some of the upside because they're like, hey, you're going to make more money, I don't have a problem with that. I just ask them the following question. Great, what else are you contributing to the business to help make that happen other than the space? Because if all you're willing to contribute is the space, then okay, cool, wonderful, thank you. But
there's a reason why you contribute the space. You could fill it up.
Yeah, that's really it. I'm here to solve your vacancy problem permanently. I can do that. Now, in exchange for that, here's what I get. I'm not doing it for free. and you're not providing any additional value. That's really what it comes down to. So you're on the right track, my friend.
Thank you so much for taking my call, and I definitely will look into the mastermind and be in touch with you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We look forward to having you. Again, cashflowdiary.com/star. Love it. Thanks for calling in. Now, let's get to some of the questions that have come in over all of the various chats and whatnot. Let's see what we got. I'm coming to the Facebook group first. Let's see what we got here. Well, it's not scrolling. Hold on. I'm going to close it and reopen it. It wouldn't let me scroll because there was too many questions, I guess. I have no idea. And again, for those of you who are watching for the first time, or maybe the 101st time, feel free to call in or type in, and hopefully, I'm not seeing any of the chat rooms from the other places. I'm only seeing our student chat rooms today. I don't know what's going on. It's just strange today. And for those of you, again, watching on Instagram, I appreciate you being here. Hopefully this is helping in some way, shape, or form. But we haven't yet figured out how to make it so that I can see your comments yet. But we're going to figure that out too. Okay, here we go. Mike says you are everywhere. I'm trying, Mike. We're doing our best. Hey, Haya, how are you? Hopefully things are going well. Mike says, how do you dynamically generate a code? If you're talking about the door codes, it depends on which platform. Some, like for example, sometimes the software that you're using can integrate directly via an API to generate the code. Other times, our dynamic generation is done by our virtual assistant, and they send that way as well. Yang, hey, the landlord only allows 4 people max in her 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Is this a deal breaker? Nope, not at all. I don't see why that would be a deal breaker in the least. And is that Kasim? I'm not sure, man. I'm sorry. Hello, Jay. Got a quick question for you. What's the difference between leasing an apartment under an LLC or under my name? By the way, I have a good credit score. Congrats on the good credit score. The difference is technically who is doing business. Now, ultimately, I'm sure I'm not an attorney. They probably going to tell you a whole lot more. But whether it's an entity or what have you, what it comes down to is if something goes wrong, who does the landlord or your customer actually have a claim against? And that's really what it comes down to. Would you rather them have a claim against your LLC, or would you rather them have a claim against you personally? Now, that doesn't mean you won't be named personally as well, but what it does mean is if you're trying to protect any other assets that you may have accumulated or are planning to accumulate, that general practice is, you're going to use some sort of an entity to shield your other assets in that way, because you don't want to expose the liability all across whatever your enterprise might necessarily look like. So, but from a technical difference, those are the things that I understand. Again, if an attorney probably will say a whole lot more about that exact same subject than I am qualified or can even come close to doing. But in general, we tend to use an entity because it affords us a different insurance and all the other benefits that entities obviously do. So hopefully that answers the question good enough for the time being for you, and then we can just kind of go from there. All right. I have no idea why these other comments aren't coming through. So if you had a question, feel free to go ahead and dial in 417-352-2274. And some of you probably heard me mention at least once or twice about the educational products that we do have to offer. You can find out more about those at cashflowdiary.com/star. Now, I started I believe inside at the top, it said something to the effect of, is it too late, for you to start, going through the whole Airbnb process? Now, first of all, I don't really call it an Airbnb business. I know that may be what you think of it as, but you're in the short-term rental or alternative accommodations, anything Because Airbnb, HomeAway, many of those other places, we call them marketplaces. It's a place where sellers and buyers meet, for lack of a better way of putting it, and keeping it really simple. And that's what you become. You become a seller of time, and other people become buyers of time in the spaces for the experiences that you have available. And being able to understand that, well, no, you haven't missed the boat is really, really important. It's not too late, but things are changing. Real estate is changing. And that's evidenced by things like the prevalence of Airbnb and HomeAway. And for those of you who've been following the storyline in any way, shape, or form, you know that some of the established players, your Booking Holdings, TripAdvisors, etc. of the world, are beginning to mimic things that Airbnb has done in order to stay competitive in that space. Same is true for Airbnb. They've begun to mimic some of the other things that they have done. But ultimately, the thing that I want to make sure that all landlords understand is that how people buy and use your real estate is changing, okay? And that change is being influenced primarily by technology, and even how we transact real estate is quickly changing as well. In fact, that was about 3-4 weeks ago, for the first time, and again, I know there are probably more than this, but I know of two at this moment, two companies that are now up and running and doing not just mobile notary, but for lack of a better way of putting it, virtual notary. I literally did an official notarization on my iPad right here without moving. And at that time I was up, so it was like 2:30 in the morning or something. And I was able to get a document notarized at a very strange time of day, night, depending, and so that I could send that in to an insurance company for a claim. Things like that have previously been the bottleneck when it comes to transacting real estate. And if they can figure out notary and make it like that experience that I had, again, reasonable cost, especially given all the parameters that I just said, right? If they can figure that out, the title companies of the world, the escrow companies of the world, the expediency with which these documents are going to be able to be processed is the reason why real estate moves so slow. And all I'm saying is there's technology coming that will change that. That will change how we process all of our payments, our transactions, identity, as well as the documentation. And when you can pull all of that off faster, more efficiently, that changes the real estate. It ultimately makes it more liquid. That doesn't mean it'll become a completely liquid asset. I'm saying this to help all of you watching understand that real estate will become more liquid, meaning it'll transact faster, meaning people will take smaller slices and pieces of your real estate at a time, and that'll be considered normal. Whereas 10 years ago, the idea of getting into the back of a stranger's car and having them pick you up and drop you off somewhere, that was just weird, right? But today, now we do it. I do it all the time. and Uber and Lyft and all of those companies, that's literally their business model. All I'm saying is change is afoot. And just because change is here, you didn't recognize the change before it started, doesn't mean it's too late for you. In fact, some would say now is the right time. So it is what it is. All right, let me see. Oh, more comments. There we go. How am I doing HomeAway pricing? Interesting question, Mike. So I will say this. I'm going to say this to say that I am always testing something. Okay, so just first know that. And second, right now the HomeAway pricing is done because they built a tool called Market Maker, I believe is what they called it. And I'm logging in real fast just to make sure I got that name right. So, and what we do is that my staff now We log in. Well, we're always logged in, but we on the 6s, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. We update the pricing based upon the relative price fluctuation or changes that we see from our what we call our comp set, comparable set of properties, which have been predefined based upon what this comparable set of properties does. Then we adjust accordingly. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, we do that twice a day for all of the listings on HomeAway. And I'm logging in real fast to make sure that I got the name right. As Market, I believe it was Market Maker is the tool. Now, yep, that's it, Market Maker. So with that being said, as I also said, I'm always testing something, which anytime I'm testing something, it's because I've identified a weakness in something, or I want to make it more efficient, or make it take less time in some way, shape, or form. So not ready to talk about that just yet. One thing I am ready to mention specifically is that many of you know, or at least have heard about the changes coming to the Los Angeles marketplace in terms of the 30 days, minimum stays, etc. So to that effect, one of the things that I did is I went and found someone who is a specialist in extended stay as it relates to short-term rentals. And it's been the major thing that they've done. And we sat down, had an interview. It'll be coming out on the podcast soon. Can't tell you exactly when, but it'll be soon. So make sure that you're paying attention. Make sure you subscribe to that for sure. Because if you've ever wondered if my marketplace or ordinances were restrictive against short-term rentals, can it still work for me? Well, that's coming. Now, for those of you who are in our highest level group, which we call the next step group, you guys, because of all the commitments you've made, we're getting that to you. So later today, inside of our private channel, you guys are going to be able to see what is technically the unedited version of that particular podcast. So we're going to make that available to you. So make sure that you check so that you're able to, get that information, quote unquote, hot off the press, for lack of a better way of putting it. So, but for everyone else, just make sure you know that that's coming, because I know there's a number of you out there who are dealing with, well, I would love to do this, but the ordinance say blah, blah, blah. And I don't know of an ordinance in existence in the world that prevents month-to-month rentals. That doesn't mean there isn't one, okay? But my point in saying that is that's very close. It's very similar to exactly what traditional real estate contracts look like today. Typically, those contracts are written for 1 year, right? And with a month-to-month payment plan. And after they expire, they typically convert to month-to-month rentals. So my point in saying that is for those of you wondering, can this opportunity work, or is it possible? I've always said yes. I still say yes. Yes, some things are different, and those differences are what the podcast was all about, so that you could figure out what that might look like for yourself and make that work. So anyway, stay tuned for that, because that's definitely coming. And I know you, Mike, specifically have done well in the 30-day market for sure. Let me see. You commented on NorCal being a good market, and it's about to get crazier with the announcement about Sacramento becoming a major league soccer city. Oh, I didn't know they were becoming a major. I am not sorry, football. It's not soccer. Anyway, one of my friends, he loves soccer a lot, and I didn't even know that, but that's cool. That's cool. Ladero posting again. I lost the comment myself. That's great. Let's chat instant book specials. I was waiting for this. Here we go. Based on the conversation last week, I have a page on my direct booking site. We started with a 7-day special. Oh, okay. 14-day special, a 21-day special, 30-day. Got it. We are wanting to get a standard of operating as we are shifting up unit inventory. Do you think this is overkill on gifts? Also, how do incentives longer bookings based on what? I don't understand that second question. the words you have written are also, how do incentives longer bookings based on smart B&B data? Maybe you mean, how do you incentivize longer bookings based upon smart B&B data? I don't really know what you're saying. Yes, got it. So no, and one, I don't think that's overkill on gifts in any way, shape, or form. In fact, you're going to need a number of them to figure out what your people actually like and or want. So that's, and Ladero, I happen to remember that you've been following the system and therefore are inside a BNI group. There are probably even more things that you haven't thought about yet that you could also do. So I would begin to look at that as well. All right. But that's a great question, though. Definitely great question. Whew. Let me see. Do we have any more comments? Lost. Mike. Okay. So I love the questions you guys give me sometimes. This is one of them. Mike is asking, did the automated messaging templates come out yet? Technically, no. However, I do know that you will have access to them no later than Saturday of this particular week. So, yes, I know that all of you who are existing students, I believe it's existing mastermind students, if I'm being very specific, existing mastermind students or new ones, if you become students week, that's fine. You will definitely have access to the templates. We are making a way for people to gain access to those templates, sir. So, but I know for a fact all of the mastermind students will have it. I can say that easily. And as Dave continues to finish the path for how people actually obtain those messaging templates, we will let you know, but you will know definitely by Saturday. So hopefully that helps as well. All right. If you find yourself, for those of you watching on Instagram, bless you. Again, as I said, this is our first time trying it on Instagram. I have no clue what it looks like, no clue what it sounds like. Hopefully it's good. I have no idea. Unfortunately, we are unable to see your comments at this moment in time. We're going to work on that, try to figure out what I didn't do right to figure that out. But just to give you an understanding that we're trying to include even more people in what it is that we do here. So, let me see. Susan says it was all over the local news last night. Oh, about the soccer. Got it. Yeah, that I mean, that's great. And the fact that they're building a 20,000 seat stadium and is also good, because that means there's going to be a short-term opportunity for construction. Those construction workers are going to need a place to stay, and they're probably not moving, right? In a lot of cases, maybe some of them are, but I don't think so. So being able to provide housing for how many ever workers it takes to, build a stadium on a short-term basis, that's going to create some demand for a significant period of time, which I think is a great thing in a lot of ways. So for those of you who are operating up in Northern California, please continue to do so. And especially if you are one of our students in Northern California, let us know, because there are so many times where someone is traveling to a specific geographic area and we're like, hey, is anyone up in San Francisco, Sacramento, blah, blah, blah. And we just don't know, because there's a lot of y'all, right? And I can't know all of the answers for everyone. Anyway, looking to see if there's, let me see, what's that? Oh, someone did call but didn't call. Okay, got it. Anyway, so if you've got a question, 417-352-2274, and let me see, making sure I'm hitting refresh, making sure everything looks good there. Outside of that, I'm looking for any questions I might have missed, because if I haven't missed anything, are we at 5 o'clock? Almost. We have a few more minutes before we will end here. So if we don't see someone there, that's completely fine. One thing I did want to say though is for those of you who are, I don't know what it like. These next couple of months, I know for my family, myself, they get absolutely crazy because my my wife's birthday is coming up, and then right after that is my oldest daughter, and then like right after that is my who's next? My mom. That's right. And then me. No. Then my other daughter. Then me. And in between all of that, you've got your Halloween and your Black Fridays and your Thanksgivings and all this other stuff. I'm saying all this to say, for those of you who are already operating, remember that these are special times where you can probably not only earn some additional revenue, but create really great experiences for people. And make sure your security procedures are solid. Go change all those batteries. Make sure those cameras are working. If you're using the systems that we have recommended, you know, these are things you don't necessarily have to worry about. But it's definitely something you want to make sure that you are staying on top of in some way, shape, or form, especially right now, because what could happen is not something you want to have happen. You don't want that what was going to be a great trick-or-treating event or Thanksgiving or what have you to turn into how you got stuck dealing with something you didn't want to deal with in some way, shape, or form. And I promise you, they didn't want to deal with it either. So get your pricing straight now. Go through, do your inventory checks, make sure you got your sheets and everything that you're going to need, because it's going to get hard to find service providers. Like you just want to get your calendar right. Talk to your cleaning crews. If they aren't willing to work Christmas Day, make sure that you don't have any turns on Christmas Day. You need to know that or have that conversation if you haven't had it already. All that stuff is coming, whether you like it or not, for that matter. And you just need to definitely be ready for it, okay? Because one way or another, once it starts happening, it can taint your experience as well as theirs. And I want your experience to be great. It looks like we've got one more caller, just waiting for Megan to finish with the details, and then we will take that. And let me see if we have what we got here. And no, I'm not seeing anything there. Awesome. So, and then for those of you who haven't already, feel free. We have a public Facebook group. I know you may not be one of our students at the moment, but you can always join the public Facebook group at cashflowdiary.com/mastery. So you can do that at any particular time that you'd like. All right. So it looks like we have is this Mike from Denver? Okay. I think I know what's going on here. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jay.
How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you doing, sir?
So far, so good. So what's going on?
Awesome. So I wanted to double check with you. Me and my business partner have started to reach out to companies directly.
Yep.
For bookings.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to maybe just, I don't know, brainstorm for a moment, or just get your insight on, what you think would be an effective way to approach them. I've been just telling them that we have units in their area. A lot of times I haven't even known which department to reach out to. I've been asking for the HR department, but not all the time is the person handling the traveling for the employees in that company in the HR department per se. So I'm just trying to get some more ideas. Maybe, just have this conversation. I think we're going to be having to have this conversation more often in the future anyway.
Yeah. Got it.
But, yeah.
Got it.
I did have this conversation somewhat with Dave
Got
before,
it.
too.
Okay. Got it. So there's a number of ways to go about this. Let me give you some of the. I'm gonna give you a front door method. Then I'm gonna give you what I would call a back door, guerrilla marketing hack, if you will. Okay. So the front door method would be to look at companies like Concur, Concur. They're an SAP company. And the reason I say that is because, I don't know, maybe it was 2.5 years ago, Concur and specifically Airbnb, I am aware of, made an arrangement to whereby Airbnb listings that qualify show up inside of Concur's database. And Concur is one of, I think there's two big ones, but Concur is one of the larger corporate travel arrangement softwares that many companies use. Okay, so
right,
if Concur is a travel software company for businesses, it probably would stand to reason that if you looked up who is a Concur customer specifically in your area or traveling into your area, you probably could shortcut some of the line in terms of wondering who it is or, which companies to contact. More importantly, I'm willing to bet that there's someone in that company who uses Concur on a daily basis, and that person is the one that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Now, that's the front door. Here's the back door. If you're using the systems that we've suggested, what you have is you have access to an understanding of the email addresses of the individuals who have stayed with you before. I would easily create a promotion that incentivizes the individuals who have stayed with you to refer you to the company and the person that they know, because they already know who it is. This is, it's not a mystery to them, and they've already stayed with you. I would create a way for them to benefit for referring you to the person who arranges the travel at the company that they work for. Does that make sense?
It does.
And that's the backdoor way, because you give me a reason. Yeah, I can give you a name and a number. I can even make a phone call, put you two on the phone together. I've already stayed with you. I liked the experience I had. And yeah, now I have a reason to. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I think if you employ either one of those, you will have more than enough leads to keep yourself busy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jay.
No problem. I can hear the excitement in your voice already. I love it. I love it, dude. Excellent. Glad we can help. I'm glad you are going out there and making it happen. Thanks for calling in, man.
Man, thank you. I can't wait to be in the special group.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yes. Okay, come on. Well, I would love to see you in the Next Step group. It's easy. You can get in.
Awesome.
Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Right,
keep doing what you're doing. Talk to you soon.
Hey, thank you, Jay.
All right.
You, man.
So that'll be definitely the last call for today, ladies and gentlemen. I am definitely grateful that you guys give us your time, your attention, and that you're out there making it happen in some way, shape, or form. Again, nobody's perfect. We're all learning this new industry together, and at the end of the day, that's one of the things that I love about the Cashflow Diary community, is that we all get to learn from one another. We all bring different skill sets to the table, different resources, and we all just increase our revenues, increase our quality of life. Well, again, as I said, together. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and you've learned, if nothing else, it's not too late for you to get started. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Until next time.